Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Melanie Dizon. I'm the Director of Education and Research at the Davis Phinney Foundation. And today I am here with Joohi Jimenez-Shahed. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Great. We're going to talk a little bit about the research program at the Davis Phinney Foundation, but can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you found the Davis Phinney Foundation?
Yeah, I think actually the Davis Phinney Foundation may have actually found me. So my name is Joohi Jimenez-Shahed. I'm a movement disorders neurologist. I am at Mount Sinai in New York City. I got in touch with the Phinney Foundation years ago, I think, when they were looking for faculty for Victory Summits, and I was fortunate enough to be able to participate way back when in one of the ones that was held in, I think it was in Minneapolis. And so over the time, I've attended a few of those, and it's been a really tremendous experience to just kind of see the energy around the organization and the patients who are benefiting from all of the knowledge that is being kind of disseminated at each of these events, and how people are really learning to live well with their Parkinson's disease. And then, as you know, over time, I've become engaged with the Science Advisory Board as well.
Great. So you recently took over as chair for the Science Advisory Board. What made you want to do that?
Oh, well,
Aside from us, asking you to do it.
yeah. No, but I think, the Davis Phinney Foundation obviously has been involved in funding research for a number of years, and some really important studies and information about Parkinson's care has really stemmed from that. And I think the particular emphasis that the Phinney Foundation has on quality of life is really unique. And I think there's an opportunity to really kind of make some immediate impacts on how patients are able to function and manage and cope and live well with their Parkinson's disease. And I thought that was really just a very unique way of approaching the whole concept of Parkinson's research. Phinney Foundation has also done a tremendous job of gathering together experts in Parkinson's disease to serve on the Science Advisory Board. And it's a tremendous group of people with a lot of expertise and knowledge. And, my hope is to be able to really garner that knowledge to be able to fund the most lasting and impactful research in Parkinson's disease for patients to really kind of benefit from right away. And it's a great group of people to be working with to do that.
Great, thank you. So, as somebody who's been on the Science Advisory Board for a while, and somebody who's also on many other boards where you see a lot of research proposals come across your desk, what are you most excited about when it comes to Parkinson's research these days? I know our community is always wanting to know what's the latest and greatest.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the great news about Parkinson's research these days is that there's a lot of research going on, and I think it is really amazing to see where these proposals are coming from, the types of investigators that are interested in working on Parkinson's disease and helping patients with Parkinson's disease, and it really kind of stems the whole gamut from very basic bench research to understand how we can find new therapeutics, to strategies to live well, to therapies, to medications, to interventions, and surgeries, how to do surgeries better. So it's really kind of spanning the whole scope of what we have currently to offer. And I think by doing more of this research, we're just going to find more answers and hasten finding that cure that everybody's hoping for.
Right. One of the things that occurs to me sometimes when people will say, there's been no real breakthrough since, Cinemet or carbidopa levodopa 60 years ago. Why aren't we moving faster? And I think, oh my goodness, there's so much. I mean, just even within the last year of the medications that are now available for off and the different systems of delivery of medications, and the technology in DBS has just been incredible. Yeah. So I think it's one of those things that maybe people hear that phrase and then they get kind of, oh, well, that's the headline, right? That's the Twitter feed that there's been no developments, but there really been quite a few. And I think until we get a cure, there's probably going to be that feeling of there's not enough happening, yeah. But there's a lot. So what would you say that people with Parkinson's and their care partners can be hopeful about right now?
I think we're understanding more and more about Parkinson's disease. We're understanding more about how to treat it, and we're also understanding different ways to treat it. And I think, whatever frustrations people may have had in the past about how certain medications work or how certain approaches, help or maybe don't help enough. There's a lot of information coming out about what we can do differently and what we can do better to get the results that people need.
Right. And I think one thing is, over the course of time, everybody is discovering that Parkinson's is not just this one disease that we can treat in one way. And that probably leads to some of that frustration. Well, how do we, Professor Boss Bloom will say, it's not one disease, it's a million diseases. And how do we treat all of those? And so I think that the Science Advisory Board is exactly the group of people we need to start saying, okay, well, when you have these situations, here are some avenues that can help treat it. Not everybody is going to need a wearable. It might not work for their symptoms, right? Or not everybody's going to need DBS or another type of treatment, but the more minds that are working on it, the better chance we have of making sure that everyone sort of is able to get that personalized care and figure out what's best going to serve them. What do you think is important for our donors and potential donors to know about our research program?
Yeah, no, that's I think a good topic to be talking about right now. First of all, we want our donors to know that we couldn't do this and fund this type of research without their support. And it's so important to have kind of a generous pipeline for that, so we can really pick sort of the best of the best and find those impactful research programs that are really going to help our patients with Parkinson's disease. So thank you so much for what you have done already, and hopefully for more to come. But I think that, aside from that, I think that the Phinney Foundation really does have a niche in Parkinson's research funding, and things that might not be necessarily the scope or fall within the scope of other organizations to fund really can fall under what the Phinney Foundation is able to fund under this umbrella of improving quality of life. And I think that is really amazing, because without this kind of seed funding that we can offer to these junior investigators or new researchers in Parkinson's, or really these early stage investigations into finding new therapies, then we're not going to make the progress that we need to. And so I think it's really a very nice opportunity for individuals who otherwise might struggle to get into this field and to generate therapies or products or treatments that are going to be helpful for patients with Parkinson's.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes the little wins are really big when it comes to quality of life, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So this is just a fun question. I'm not holding you to anything, but if you were given $1 million today to focus on quality of life research, what would you want to do?
Oh my gosh, that's such a hard question to answer. I mean, as you know, a lot of my work is in deep brain stimulation, and there's so many questions that I would love to answer about quality of life with deep brain stimulation. We know that it is definitely better when people get DBS, and as you said, it may not be either right for everybody, certainly not at the same time. And there may be people who do better, than other patients when they go through deep brain stimulation. So, gosh, if I had a way to kind of fund anything in quality of life, it would be to maybe try to understand, what are these individual factors in quality of life that we really need to be focusing on, and how we can use that to kind of formulate a very individual approach for a specific patient. And I think the name of the game these days is finding that individualized management strategy. And if we could do that somehow magically, or maybe very intentionally because we understand a lot about it, I think that would go a long way to helping patients.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for those of you who are listening, we're going to have a great webinar in October all about DBS, all about deep brain stimulation and all of the new technologies. that we're working on. And that's one of the things that we're funding this year. And we'll definitely let you know a little bit more about that. So thank you so much for being here with us today and sharing with us your take on our research program. We're so glad to have you as the chair of our SAB. And for those of you watching, we hope that this will be a program you're interested in investing in. We love the work that we get to do, and we love that we get to show results to people quickly. So thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you, Mel.